Welcome, viewers, to tonight's edition of the Treadmill Times. I'm your host, Broadcast Bruce, and tonight we have a normally scheduled night of... Oh, wait, what's this? Well, folks, seems like we're in for a treat, because tonight we have an urgent field report from our host, Dangerous Dan.
So let me catch my breath. Thanks, Broadcaster Bruce. Now, I find myself here in the kitchen of a typical American, where most cardiovascular problems begin. Back in 2020, it was brought to our attention that almost 32% of global deaths were related to some form of cardiovascular disease. Now, that makes sense to me. I love my energy drinks. I love my red meat, my seed oils, my sodium. But here at Treadmill Times, that raises a big red flag, where our number one priority is to keep your heart beating strong. Back to you, Bruce.
Wow, that really is surprising, Dan. What a shame that so many people are going through cardiovascular health problems. Well, I wish there was something we at Treadmill Times could do to, somehow raise public awareness about some way that we could improve cardiovascular health. Oh, what's this? Hello? Oh, Sauna Stan. Oh, really? Well, folks, we just got an urgent call from Sauna Stan in his home sauna, claiming to know about how saunas can be beneficial for cardiovascular health and athletic recovery. Let's see what he has to say. Oh, well, Bruce, I'm here in my home sauna. It's about 50 degrees Celsius in here. And as you all know, I love saunas. After all this time, spending my whole life in saunas, I know a thing or two. And after doing some research, I found some good studies that show the positive health benefits of saunas on cardiovascular health and athletic recovery. I hypothesize that if saunas were used in recovery and in health practices, then cardiovascular health and other benefits will occur. In one 2017 study by Tanjanina Laukkanen titled Acute Effects of Sauna Bathing on Cardiovascular Function, 102 subjects split between men and women evenly, about 56% were men, were subjected to 30 minutes of sauna bathing, where blood-based parameters, blood pressure, and arterial stiffness were measured before, during, after, and 30 minutes after the sauna bathing session. Ultimately, this study found that sauna bathing decreased systolic and diastolic blood pressures, improved arterial flexibility, reducing stiffness, and improved some other blood-based parameters such as lowering cholesterol slightly. Ultimately, this was a well-run, randomized test. However, it was limited in the fact that only one sauna session was given to each subject, which reduces our knowledge about how saunas can have long-term effects on people. 999, 1,000. Oh, geez. Well, also, in a 2022 study conducted by Eric Lee and colleagues, 6 men and 42 women were split into 3 groups. Each of these people had at least one cardiovascular disease or risk, and they were subjected to 3 different trials. The first group was split into a control, where no therapy or anything was given. The second group was subjected to exercise over an 8-week period, and the third group was subjected to exercise and followed by a 15-minute sauna session after the exercise session. after the 8 weeks, the group that performed exercise along with the 15-minute sauna session post-exercise had the greatest improvements in cardiorespiratory fitness, systolic blood pressure, and total cholesterol levels. The only downside to this test was that out of the 48 participants, only 6 were male and 42 were female. So we can't be exactly sure if these effects always applied to men and women. And as well, they didn't test different intervals of sauna therapy or different therapy types to see which would be most effective. Gotta stay flexible. Well, also, in a 2019 study conducted by Heidi Butte and Lars Donath, titled Sauna Yoga Superiorly Improved Flexibility, Strength, and Balance, a 2-armed randomized controlled trial in healthy older adults, 23 healthy active adults between the ages of 60 and 80 years of age were split into 2 groups, testing whether being in a heated sauna while doing yoga or being in a sauna with no heat administered would make any difference to flexibility, strength, and balance. After the 8-week trial was concluded, results were measured, and flexibility in the chair to toe reach test, the group that performed yoga in a heated sauna at 50 degrees Celsius was significantly more flexible. However, small differences in strength and balances were seen in favor of the heated sauna group. However, results were not significant enough to draw any major conclusions. The only downside to this trial is that only healthy older adults were tested. And here at Treadmill Times, what we care about are people that might be at a disadvantage, who might not be doing so great with their heart, so they can get it to start beating strong again.
Boom! LeBron!
Gotta love basketball. Well, speaking of basketball, in a 2022 study by Essie Ahokas titled A Post-Exercise Infrared Sauna Session Improves Recovery of Neuromuscular Performance and Muscle Soreness After Resistance Exercise Training, 16 male college-age basketball players were studied and put through 2 trials spaced 1 week apart. In each trial, the athletes performed intense exercise sets using maximal plyometrics, and after which they were either administered a 20-minute passive rest or a 20-minute infrared sauna session. Then their performance was assessed 14 hours later using a 20-meter sprint, a maximal counter movement jump, and an isometric leg press test. Each player performed both trials at different times, 1 week apart, and were assessed for performance. Heart rate and other markers like muscle soreness were less severe, and perceived recovery was higher after the infrared sauna recovery sessions when compared to the passive sessions. This is awesome as an athlete myself, to know that if I hit the sauna after my workout, I'll be better rested, have a better heart rate than if I were to just rest in my house. The only limitations to this study is that it was a low sample size with only 16 basketball players being studied, and no women were studied or included in this trial. What? I'm getting hot just thinking about it, Stan. Well, seems like there we have it, folks. Saunas can be beneficial for cardiovascular health and athletic recovery. And although some of our trials could have been more diverse in including men and women, and some could have had longer trial periods to test long-term effects, as well as increasing or decreasing time in saunas to see what the right ratio is to get the best results. Seems like overall, saunas are beneficial to helping improve arterial stiffness, helping lower blood pressure, and increasing cardiorespiratory health and fitness overall. So there we have it. One more step taken in the right direction to help keep your hearts beating strong. Have a great night, folks.